Welcome to the Cold Plunge Warmup. The information provided is not medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any new exercise, diet, or therapy routines. Today, we are going to talk about how to get started with cold exposure. And first way to start, in my opinion, is with cold showers. I started with cold showers. I highly recommend it. It's a very low cost, no cost way to get started and kind of dip your toe in the water. All you got to do is turn the knob. The questions that most people ask, because I talk to everyone who will listen about these things, is how often should you do it? How long should you do it? How cold should it be? And when should you do it? So I'm going to address all of those questions. How often? There's no magic number for showers. The data is inconclusive because it's inconsistent. Not everyone is going to get the same amount of water coverage. Not everyone's going to have the same temperature water. So the studies on it are very inconclusive, but the benefits are not. So the easy answer is as often as you can. When I was doing it, I did it daily. I was going for up to 7 minutes. I started out with 30 seconds. Those 30 seconds are terrible the first time you do it, depending on how cold the water is. I built up to 7 minutes, and I was doing that daily for quite some time. So that's how often daily for showers, how long, up to 7 minutes for me, and I was doing that daily. How cold? With a cold shower, obviously as cold as you can get it. What I would always do is ease into it and slowly turn the water from warm towards cold. Once I felt that the heat was not really there and it's starting to get cold, I would just go all the way to cold and stand there. So the advice from the studies is to let the water hit you in the back of the neck and the top of your shoulders the whole time. I spun every 30 seconds into a new location. So I would start with the water on the back of my neck. I would turn and let it cascade over my shoulders and side, turn again and let it hit me in the front of my neck and chest, and then turn to the other side. And I would rotate like that every 30 seconds. And that is a miserable way to do it because you're never used to the water. There's definitely no temperature acclimation, and it sucks. So that's the way I did it. I think you could just stand there with the water on the back of your neck and be just fine. The one piece of advice I have is try not to let it run over the front of your body while you're doing that, because if you move slightly, it will be a very, very uncomfortable stream of water going over your shoulder. So to get started, all you need is a timer. You can use your phone. I always set a timer because I wanted to know I had hit my goal. And so I started with 30 seconds, added 30 seconds a day, and just kept going that way. So that's showers. For cold baths, it's a lot different. Obviously, you need a lot more than a shower. So we'll go through the how often, how long. How often is up to you again. How long is more important. All of the study I follow out of Denmark is 11 minutes a week in water between 40 and 50 degrees. I keep seeing all these heroes online that are like, oh, I did 10 minutes at 32 degrees. And even, Wim Hof does his birthday plunge where I think he did like 60, whatever his age is, he did like 68 minutes in 35 degree water, which congratulations. I think that's dangerous. I definitely don't think anyone should be doing it that long. But the studies are 11 minutes. They recommend hot, cold together. I don't personally do that, but they say a minute in the cold, 1 to 2 minutes in the cold, 10 to 15 minutes in the heat in a sauna, 1 to 2 minutes back in the cold, 10 to 15 minutes back in the sauna, 1 to 2 minutes back in the cold. So you start and end on cold. That's their study and the way they do it. I don't do it that way personally. I just do 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week to make sure I'm getting my 11. I do typically go a little bit over, and my temperature's normally it ranges from 40 to 55 depending on the day. When to do it is important, and this is the same for showers or baths. Never do it after you work out, unless it's like a cardio session. As soon as you get into cold water, the hypertrophy is done. You're no longer building muscle. And so if you work out and get right in, you're taking away hours of muscle building. So I would say do it before a workout. I personally do it in the mornings, most days after a shower. That way the water stays clean. And then I get out and start my day. It's a great way to start your day because it really boosts, kickstarts your energy and all of the other things. I do also do a longer one after jujitsu oftentimes. The next thing a lot of people, they don't ask, but it comes up is, should it hurt? The answer is yeah. It should be uncomfortable. It shouldn't be painful necessarily. There's a there's a fine line. Don't hurt yourself, but it shouldn't be comfortable. That's the point of it. It should be uncomfortable. The tingling, stinging sensation of being in the cold. It's going to trigger all of your flight or fight responses. Controlling that is where the magic happens. So it shouldn't be something you're happy to do. It shouldn't be something you're comfortable doing. If it's getting comfortable, you need to change something. You're getting used to it. That's not ideal, which is another reason I think doing it too often, especially with the cold baths, doing it too often, you start to get acclimated and the benefits are going away. For cold bath, the needs are, again, quite a bit more. You need some sort of tub. You can use an inflatable spa. That's what I use. Literally, you could use like a trash can, livestock tub, barrels. There's all sorts of things you could buy off the internet for that. You're also going to need ice and or a chiller unless it's winter, which is why I'm doing this now. It's fall. We're getting into winter. If you decide you want to do a cold shower, now's an amazing time because you get to get into cold water for no cost, and it's going to progressively get colder. If you do it today, the water's probably going to be in the 50s, high 50s, low 60s. In a month from now, the water's going to be in the middle 40s. And you'll get to experience truly cold water for no cost. And the same with the bath. If you set a bath out overnight, this time of year, depending on where you live, I live in Virginia, it gets cold enough that the water will be in the 50s easily overnight. As it gets colder, the water will get colder. No cost, all you need is the tub. The next things, besides keeping the water cold, are going to be keeping the water clean. Filtration, however you see fit. I use a canister filter with a 50 micron filter in it and a pump. Obviously, you're going to need a pump with a filter. So I have a chiller, pump, filter. That's my setup. I also use a Backwasil. That's a whole nother conversation. Backwasil is a peroxide cleaner. Thermometer if you want to. It's nice to know the actual temperature. I know a lot of people think water's colder than it really is, and it's easy to get in and say, oh, that's 50, but you have no idea without a thermometer. A timer, obviously you want to keep track of your time so you're not going for too long, and also so you're not going for too short. It's very easy to think you've been in there for an hour when it's really been 20 or 30 seconds. And obviously you'll need a towel. So that's how to get started. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to talk about it, as you can tell. Yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow.